What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. The World Series has begun, and the series is tied 1-1 with Game 3 going on right now. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. I'm Alex, Normal Dog. That's Lewis from our opposite locations as normal. But we are here regardless, which is really all that matters.
Amen. I completely forgot to grab my laptop. Ugh.
That's fine. So the World Series has begun. We apologize for not having an episode before the World Series. Schedules, schools, stuff like that, just going on. But
not everything was able to fall in place, but no big deal. We're here. Let's get it.
Exactly. We're here regardless. Do you want to make sure the audio is working one more time? Because last time we did Discord episode.
Okay, wait. Say something.
Both things are working.
Yeah. Okay. Here? We got all audio. Okay,
we're good. Okay.
So let's jump right into it.
So, Phillies-Astros, the underdog Phillies team. No one saw them coming except for me. They are the streakiest team. They got on a hot streak. They are doing amazing in the playoffs so far. They come to the World Series as overwhelmingly the underdogs. And Game 1. I feel like we can't get into Game 1 without prefacing. So, what was your pick before the series? What was your series pick? Because I had Phillies in 7.
So I had Astros in 6. To be completely brutally honest with you, I thought that the Astros were just that powerhouse. Like, it wouldn't have surprised me if when the Phillies got the game back into Citizens Bank that they would take maybe 2 out of 3 in their 3-game little homestand. But I think I've been shut up rather quickly.
Yeah, really. I had Phillies in 7 because they're on a hot streak, and when you beat teams like the Braves, even the Padres, they were playing pretty good. But and the Cardinals, when you beat those kinds of teams, and you're on a hot streak, and especially with this team, how they've been playing, I figured the only way they get it done is in 7, because, like you said, the Astros are that dominant team. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think the Astros, they've shown it all postseason that they're the team to beat. And, the Phillies have certainly met Goliath as David in this story.
That's true. Phillies both have been amazing throughout the playoffs. I feel like it's hard to preface now. We just have to kind of get into it. So if you want to get into Game 1, or did you get injured just then?
It's good. I'm not used to sitting at this desk. I have nowhere to rest my feet.
Oh yeah, do not kick the computer.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's get into it. Game 1, it looked like it was going to be all Astros. Astros broke out early and started off 5-0. They were up 5-0. With JV on the mound, who has yet to, in his professional career, record a World Series victory.
More on how they got to 5-0.
Oh, yeah. I have very minimal notes on the first 2 games.
All right, I got it then. So Game 1 of the World Series, we start off with a scoreless first from both teams. Good start to the World Series, entertaining start. Then we hit the bottom of the second, and Kyle Tucker starts off the scoring with a solo shot to right field. Opens the scoring of the World Series. Houston is rocking. Later in that inning, Martin Maldonado singles to score another run, made it 2-0. And then in the 3rd inning, Kyle Tucker again with a 3-run home run to right center field, making it 5-0 Astros. Take it away, Lewis.
So after 5-0, everyone was calling it, raise the white flag, Philly, congratulations, hang the banner for making it to the World Series, but the Astros, they're gonna win this until I believe it got started off with a Nick Castellanos
Nick Castellanos single,
double
yeah.
single, and at the Astros, I don't want to say lost themselves the game. It was more of the Phillies really. I mean, their nickname is the Fightin' Phils, and they showed all the fight. Did that leave?
No.
And they showed their fight, bringing it all the way back to 5-5, where in the ninth inning both teams threw a blank inning. So going into extras, JT Realmuto stepped up and hits a go-ahead solo home run, opposite field home run into Houston to give the Phillies the lead, and that's all that they would need going into the bottom of the 10th, where they shut it down to win the game 1-0.
They won the game 6-5.
Oh yeah, 6-5, 6-5. Oh,
They did
sorry.
take a 1-0 series lead
Yeah,
in game one.
There you go.
I mean, what a game. This might have been one of my favorite games of the entire season. And to start out the World Series with a game like this was absolutely incredible. I mean, like you said, you got the Astros, who are the powerhouse team, coming out of the box, getting a 5-0 lead on the Phillies, and you're thinking to yourself, is this really how this entire series is going to go? The Astros just bullying the Phillies, not letting them get any hits, runs. But then the Astros just turned it around on Verlander and scored they scored 3 runs in the 4th inning and then 2 runs in the 5th inning. Just absolutely jumped on him in those 2 innings. Kind of chased him out of the game. And then from there, it was just, I felt like it was whoever scored. Obviously, for the Astros going into the 9th inning, it was whoever scored if they scored first, they win. But like, I feel like if the Phillies scored, they were going to win the game. And I know it got a little dicey in the bottom of the 10th, but I mean, they were able to get it done.
I mean,
bullpen,
that was one of the big controversies of the game was Aledmus Diaz, I think is how you say the name. Aledmus Diaz. Personally, so what happened was he had leaned, the home plate umpire had called him leaning into a pitch in the bottom of the 10th inning with runners on second and third and 2 outs, where Aledmus Diaz would eventually be the final out and giving the Phillies a 1-0 series lead. I agree with the call of that he very clearly leaned into it. I mean, I'm 90% sure he's just a rookie or a second-year player. Like, that's such a high-pressure situation, and he thought that he had an opportunity to get out of it, and especially being able to flip the lineup and get it to Jose Altuve, arguably one of the best postseason hitters of all time, it was a good opportunity. However, it was more than obvious that he leaned into the pitch.
Yeah, I saw it, and it 100% looked like he leaned into the pitch. He just wanted to get, what would it be? It would have been bases loaded, right?
Bases loaded with 2 outs for Jose Altuve. A big what if. What if Jose Altuve got up?
No. For Chas McCormick.
Oh, yes.
Would have been bases loaded, 2 outs for Chas McCormick. But even then, that's still a big what if he came up. Even anyone who came up, it would have been a big what if. But we'll never know because said you leaned into it, can't do that, and then grounded out to end game 1.
Yeah.
That was kind of the big controversy in that game. A lot of people said Astros cheating again, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And should it have worked, it would have been brilliant. So
yeah, and I think one of the biggest controversies, and I wanted to ask your opinion on this, is I don't understand why Dusty Baker did not let Ryan Presley go out for the 10th inning. You can say like it's a long series and you want to ensure that you have your guys for every day, but like you don't want to lose the first game of the series with a guy who's been as lights out as Ryan Presley. I think that there's a world where you should have put him back on the mound for the 10th inning.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he's got a 0 ERA in the postseason, and up to that point, like you said, he was pretty dominant. He was more than dominant. Not bringing him out for the 10th, I feel like maybe, yes, Dusty did want to say, hey, we can score. If we can just not give up 1 run, we can score, we can win this game, and we still have Presley for game two. I think that's probably where that thought process came from. You want Presley for the next game so you can win another one. Because there's still a chance that you win this game. And if you go out tomorrow and you need him again, you have another chance to win the next game. So I feel like that really had a big to do with it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like that's the only reason he didn't bring him back out.
I agree.
Because why else wouldn't he have brought him back out?
I mean, we're Yankee fans. We're not going to shy away from that. And we witnessed the Yankees in Cleveland when they played in the ALDS. Aaron Boone jumped around pitching certain guys on certain days because of rest or because of wanting to ensure that he had them tomorrow. And, it wasn't always the best call. I would have thought Dusty and the Astros' entirety of coaching would have thought, let's put him out there for one more inning.
That's not even a Yankee thing. That's more just a baseball thing when you have your lights out reliever. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it almost worked out for them. Should he have not given up that home run, it would have been 5-5 still, and who knows what would have happened from there. So it's not like Garcia came in and completely exploded. He still pitched 2/3 of an inning. He just gave up that one homer. But it is what it is, and at that point can't go back. So
cannot go back.
Phillies took a 1-0 series lead in Houston, heading into Game 2, which was huge for them. I can guarantee, no one would have thought they would have won Game 1, aside from probably Phillies fans. But showing that fight and showing that you want it this bad, to come back from a 5-0 lead and coming back from a 5-0 lead in your away stadium, I mean, it's like you said, they're the Fightins.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's great. I loved it. It was, like I said, it was one of my favorite games of the year. Do you want to move on to game 2 of the World Series?
Yeah, go ahead.
Game 2 of the World Series, we saw Framber Valdez go against Zach Wheeler. And Zach Wheeler has not looked good in the postseason, and it continued to be that way through Game 2. In the bottom of the first inning, Jeremy Pena doubles, makes it 1-0. Yordan Alvarez doubles, makes it 2-0. A throwing error, scored another run, made it 3-0. So at that point, it's 3-0. Wheeler got bumped around in the first inning. Phillies cannot score off Framber. There's a whole controversy with his if he's using a substance, which we'll get to after I finish. Come to the bottom of the fifth, Bregman, big boy Bregman, hits a 2-run homer to left field to the Crawford boxes, or I don't know if it landed right in the Crawford boxes, but
might have gone way past him.
He broke the record for home runs in a World Series by a third baseman, I believe. Not a single World Series, just in general. It was something like that. And so at that point, it's 5-0. And top 7, Gene Segura, sac fly, scores a run, gets a run on the board for Philly. That's all the runs they would get in the 7th. Then in the 8th inning, Kyle Schwarber is up with no outs and one man on. Takes a 2-2 pitch, drives it to right field. Home run, rounds the bases, comes to home, steps on the plate. 3-5 Phillies, 3-5 Astros. It looks in reach for Philly, but oh wait, the umpires get together. They call back the home run. It went just inches to the right of the foul pole, and Schwarber did not get the home run. Had to continue the at bat. On the very next pitch, hit a very long fly ball to right field. Again, that was caught at the very tip of the back of the wall.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the homer, which sucked. The Phillies would score one more in the top of the 9th, but that wouldn't be enough. And the Astros take game 2, 5-2.
Mm-hmm. Good breakdown.
So the Framber thing, I saw so many people on Instagram and Twitter think that Framber was cheating because he kept going to his hand and his neck and
switching
his hand.
Switching the glove and going to the palm of his hand that's underneath the glove, along with before every substance check after each inning, wiping off his hands. Not really the best look for a guy who's dominating on the mound like that.
Yes, I get that, but I kid you not. One of my professors asked me today if I thought he was cheating, and I said I legitimately don't think he was cheating. That you wouldn't in a World Series game, you wouldn't be that obvious about it, going to your neck and going to your palm. I think it was sweat and rosin, which is allowed.
Legal.
I also think, like you said, wiping his hands off before substance checks. If you're using pine tar, I've gotten a lot of pine tar in my hands in the last 2 summers from working for a baseball team. You cannot just wipe off pine tar.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. You need soap. You can't just wipe off pine tar. If you're wiping off pine tar with nothing, you're going to be sitting there for like
Hours.
not nothing. Yeah, you're going to be sitting there for a little bit. I don't think he was cheating. I just think everyone took it out of proportion. Like, you really, come on, you really think he's gonna stand on in the middle of the mound just like this and just go to his palm, just like blatantly in front of everyone? Like, no. And the umpires do their substance checks. It's just, I really liked. Did you see Rob Thompson's response?
No, I did not inform me.
He was like, they were like, what do you think about Framber? And he was like, well, I'm not going to ask for a check. The umpires check them after every inning. That's their job. I trust the process, which I think Buck Showalter needs to. Maybe I'm taking some notes on that just for next time. The umpires are doing their job. They're going to know if there's pine tar on the guy's hand.
Well, two things. One, I agree with you. I don't think he was cheating. I think it was just sweat and rosin. I mean, we both have worn baseball gloves for hours at a time. The hand is where I get the most sweat when I have my glove on and like just am playing.
Of course.
And the rosin bag, you see pitchers all the time. They not only just use it on their hands, they'll dampen it all around their neck or down their arms. So, I mean, I don't think he was cheating, like Alex said. I think it was just a combination of sweat and rosin. Still a little bit upsetting that there does need to be like a legal substance to improve pitching performances, but I think it's very obvious that he was not cheating, like not using a banned substance.
I was gonna say it's not even. I was gonna say it's not a banned substance. It's a human body fluid, sweat,
Yeah.
and something that they put a bag on the mound every day. Rosin.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's sticky. I get it, but it's part of the game. It's allowed.
Yeah, and just two more things that I want to address. One, well, three actually. So one, the top of the Astros lineup going 6 for 15 with 4 runs scored and a home run, which was the Alex Bregman homer, was a good sign for them, especially tying up the series and going into Philly for Game 3. 2, the only time the Astros got a run was off of the starter for the Phillies, Zach Wheeler. The Phillies bullpen still locked it down, and they weren't using their high leverage guys because, the game felt kind of out of reach. And third, which is arguably the most important piece to the entirety of Game 2, the home plate umpire was perfect. He did not miss a single call.
Perfect game. That's true. That's incredible. That it's the first time that's happened since umpire scorecard, which is who reported it. It's the first time that's ever happened since they started their thing in 2015. Which, I mean, if you're gonna have a perfect game, have it in the World Series. I mean, that's what it's for. He had the best umpire performance all season. No,
Yeah,
he was the definition of unbiased.
And I mean, having a performance like that, it would be different. And I don't think
he
it would
won
be
the World Series.
Yeah, give him a ring. I don't think that
Give
it
him
would
a
be
ring.
talked about
Everyone.
as much if it were a regular season game. Like, being able to be an umpire must be hard enough already, but then doing it under those circumstances of having this crowd, this sold out crowd, just holding their breath, waiting for you to either move or say that it's a ball. Like that. I feel like that takes something else, and I just wanted to tip my hat to the home plate umpire.
Oh, of course, tip of the cap. Um, Two things. One, I do think it would be very. I still think it would be very reported on if it was in the regular season game because, like we've said, it hasn't been done since they started in 2015 at least. So I do think it's a very special thing, and I think that it's different. Um, and then two, it would be very funny if whoever wins the World Series gave that umpire a ring.
Yeah, that would be entertaining, but I can tell you right now that the MLB would look into it as like tampering or paying off the umpire, but that would still be really funny.
Yeah. Also, backtracking, Altuve 3 for 4 was pretty big for them. We have to get to this game because we are currently watching Game 3. It's going on right now. It is the top of the ninth with one out. Let me summarize this game very very quickly so we can get our reactions at the end of the game and then
Go
talk
for it,
about it a
man.
little bit. So this game in Philly, 2 days of rest since the rain out delayed, and the Phillies are are coming out here after winning game one, losing game two against Lance McCullers Jr. and Ranger Suarez starting for them. So the Phillies had themselves a day. In the bottom of the first, Bryce Harper hit an electric 2-run home run. Like we've said, just putting this team on his back, doing everything it takes to win a championship. Kyle Schwarber 2-run homer in the bottom of the first, crowd going wild. Fast forward to the bottom of the second. Alec Boehm with a solo homer off Lance McCullers um, makes it 3-0. So the home run seems to be a common theme for this game for the Phillies because later in that inning, Brandon Marsh hit a solo home run to right center field. Just barely got out, was reviewed, but call was upheld, made it 4-0. Then fast forward to the bottom of the fifth. Like I said, home runs, big theme for this game. Kyle Schwarber hit a monster 2-run shot to center field to make it 6-0 Phillies. And at this point, it seems like the game's out of reach because the Astros are not hitting off Ranger Suarez. They have not hit off the bullpen at all this series, and they still haven't. So it's not looking good for the Astros here. And then to add insult to injury, Rhys Hoskins goes back to back with Kyle Schwarber, and it is 7-0 Phillies, and that's currently where we sit. In this game, it is 7-0 Phillies, top nine.
With
Trey
two
Mancini
outs.
is up. I only have one out, so I might be a little behind.
Certainly are.
Uh, yes, the second out just happened. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
So
so
top nine, 2 outs, 7-0 Phillies,
just a
and
little bit of fun facts. Let me just make sure that I'm reading this right. I
Lewis's
believe
famous fun facts.
so. I believe that the Phillies have hit 5 home runs in this game alone, which is tied for the most all time in a one World Series game. It would be cool to see them attempt to try to hit the sixth. However, top of the ninth, two outs.
Well, I was gonna say they
Yeah,
can't. It's top nine,
it's
2 outs.
very, very
Or,
far from a possibility at the moment.
unless the Astros score 7 runs with one out in the top of the ninth inning,
I mean, we've seen the
we won't
Astros
see
do
that
some
happen.
incredible things, and I just think that this might be a
I'll
little
t-
bit too much of a challenge
I
for
was
them.
gonna say I'll tell you right now, it ain't happening.
Yeah. Oh, one thing
Chaz
that we
McCormick.
missed.
Oh,
We missed
okay.
one thing.
Well, the game's about it. Okay, go on.
Okay. The illegal bat used by Martin Maldonado. I don't know if
So this is
anybody's
game one.
yeah, if anybody's read up on it. The bat was not illegal because it was corked or anything. The bat was illegal because it's made out of a certain type of wood that shatters easy, and shattering a bat and having all the wood just scattered throughout the infield grass is a very, very dangerous thing, and it can also be projectile. And the MLB banned the bat not because of its performance, but because if it does break, it's a hazard to anybody on the field. So I
Yeah,
just want to put that
it's
out there
not
for
cheating.
anybody who has not known. Yeah, it's not cheating, and it's might
A
be the
lot of
furthest thing from it.
exactly. A lot of people were taking that way out of proportion. I agree. It's currently 3-0 to Chaz McCormick.
3-1.
3-1 actually to Chaz McCormick. 2 outs. top of the ninth. So assuming the Phillies win this game, they're going to continue their reign of terror at home. They're 6-0 at home in the postseason if they hold on to this game. Um, I think it's dangerous for the Astros. It's 3-2 now, one strike away from winning this thing. I think it's dangerous to the Astros in games 4 and 5 here. Um, I don't I don't necessarily know if the Phillies will win both games, but I think it's very likely, considering how they've played, that they'll win at least one of the next two games and go into Houston for Game 5.
6.
Was that and yeah, they'll go into Houston to Game 6 with a 3-1 lead
3-2.
or 3-2 lead.
Yeah.
And if they win both games, if they win tomorrow and Thursday, I mean, good for them. They win it in their home city, and they shock everyone by winning this thing in 5 games. But I think this is at least going 6. There's no way the Phillies. But at the same time,
I don't know.
They're 6-0 at home. They're 6-0 at home. How could you? And
strike 3.
That's the end of the game. Phillies win
Wow.
7-0. They take down the Houston Astros in commanding fashion. This is worrying for if you're an Astros fan, you are worried. They have not scored in 3 games so far. They have not scored a single run off
The bullpen.
the Phillies bullpen. And in 2 of those games, they've used their low leverage guys. That is concerning if you're an Astros fan, because now you're down 2-1 in the World Series, staying in Philly for the next 2 games, which you could potentially lose both and lose the World Series. So you're getting the scary waters with if you're an Astros fan. And tomorrow you have Javier starting, who's been amazing, which I think could be their lifesaver. Javier going against Nola. Nola has not been as good as Javier has been this postseason. So
Yeah,
I think you're in a good spot with Javier pitching tomorrow.
I definitely think that having Christian Javier for such a pivotal game, I mean, going down in a series 3-1 in any sport it seems like a near improbable comeback. But in baseball, there's a whole nother level to it where it doesn't seem insurmountable. It just seems like it's not possible at all. And the Astros, definitely looking to avoid that, are pitching, in my opinion, who should have been like their game 1 starter with how well he's performed all year, Christian Javier.
Yeah, I mean, Javier's been lights out. I'm excited to see this matchup because, like you said, if they go down 3-1, that is a tough spot to dig out of.
Especially with one more game in the bank. I texted Alex because we were watching the beginning of the game at separate locations and everything, and I said, I feel like if I go outside right now, I'll be able to hear that Phillies crowd, and we're a good bits away from the stadium. We're about 3 states away, and it was just, that crowd is electric. I mean, Philly fans enjoy it, and keep cheering on these fighting Phils. You guys have spent, I believe, 11, 12 years not even in the playoffs, and you finally get back into the dance as the 6th seed, right? The last team, and the team that benefited from the expansion playoffs, and now you guys are 2 wins away from a World Series.
Yeah, it's crazy. And as much as we could talk about this once the season ends, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the newest playoff format. But with a team like the Phillies, who got in because of that new playoff format, and they might win the World Series, even if they don't, they made it to the World Series. It's hard to argue against it now. Any team can do it.
Yeah, it's the proof is
give or take any team, but yeah.
Well, I mean, goes back to the classic saying, "Proof is in the projects." I mean, you gotta believe, you gotta have fight, you gotta have hope. And sure, you can be like, oh my God, our season's going to end in the wild card round because we're the 6th seed and there are teams better than us that we have to play. It doesn't mean you can't win. And these fighting Phils are showing that.
That's true. And then looking forward to Game 5, should the Astros lose, should the Astros win, regardless, I believe it'll be the same pitching matchup at Game One. I believe it'll be Wheeler versus Verlander. One can assume that's normal rest. So um, I'm excited. The Astros are looking to avoid losing against avoid losing the World Series to another NL East team with 80 wins. First, we saw the Nationals, then the Braves, and
Now the
the Phillies
Phillies.
with the 87 win Phillies, shocking the world. Not to say that it's over; it's nowhere near over. We're just saying they're trying to avoid that. So, I am so excited for the rest of the series, especially with the way the Phillies are playing. Because knowing the Astros could play just as good as the Phillies are, if not better, is a scary thought for the Phillies. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I feel like the Astros kind of have this Dodger-esque syndrome where, yeah, they'll perform for the 162, and they might even make it all the way through the dance and get to the World Series. You got to win four more, you know. I mean, in sports, it's the greatest honor and the greatest privilege to win a championship for your team. And sure, you can make it there, but second place does not get you the commissioner's trophy.
No, second place gets you a fancy Tampa Bay Rays ring. Um, get that NLCS ring. Um, the National League is looking to win their what third, fourth World Series in a row,
Wait,
going to the
who?
National League. We had the Nationals, Dodgers, Braves. If now the Phillies are looking to
Oh yeah, yeah,
win again.
yeah. I don't know why I thought that it was
Uh,
Nationals and then the Red Sox. I flipped them.
no. Yeah, I think that should do it. I mean, there's not much else to talk about.
Do you want to
We
talk
need
about
with the Ash.
baseball just in general? Because there are some housekeeping things that
No,
we can talk
no,
about.
no. I think we should stay within the World Series here. I think that makes the most sense. We have the whole offseason to talk about housekeeping baseball stuff, which we'll do. I know new managers have been signed, so we'll talk about that once the World Series is over. Keys for the Astros. I mean, you said it. You said it earlier. Altuve and Alvarez need to get going because, like we saw in game two, Altuve went 3 for 4. Alvarez went 1 for 3.
With a
When
walk.
they hit, yeah, when they hit, that team wins. So
Yeah.
I think Altuve and Alvarez are the two biggest things here. Their pitching is going to be good. I know obviously McCullers was very bad tonight, but besides that, I mean, their pitching hasn't been terrible, and their bullpen's been fantastic. So I really think it's just a couple guys in the lineup need to get it going. They need to be able to hit off the Phillies bullpen. We know that they can hit off literally any team and any player in the league. So prove it to us and hit off the Phillies pitching. I know they've been good, but that's what they're going to have to do. And I think it starts with Altuve and Alvarez.
Yeah, no, I think another big thing, piggybacking on the Altuve and Alvarez thing, Altuve, we've seen him play in the playoffs since 2017, or 2015, even for that matter, when the Astros first made the playoffs in 2015 in the wild card. Altuve has always been the guy, for even just a walk, he'll jump over the railing, start yelling and getting excited and clapping and trying to fire up the
Yeah,
lineup and the team, and it just looks like whenever the camera pans over to that side of the field, that dugout, it just looks like the players are defeated, they're drained, and this is nothing against the Astros because I did pick them to win the World Series. I just think that there needs to be a serious spark. Someone needs to go in there and really fire these guys up because you can't win a World Series playing Debbie Downer on yourself.
like I agree. I agree. Good. You have to have a positive attitude.
Yeah, like the
You're
the
not gonna
Phillies,
you're not gonna win it.
what's like they have like a song. I forget the name of the song. It's like Dancing by Myself or something like that. And you see the clips and everything of like all the Phillies players jamming out to it. The whole stadium singing it in between innings. It's like, come on,
I
Astros.
mean, I don't really think it's. I mean, yes, I get that the personality. I more think that it's just like Altuve. I think it starts with Altuve. Altuve's he's their captain. Let's be honest. He might not. I don't know if he has like the exact title of captain. He doesn't. He doesn't. But he is their guy in the clubhouse. He needs to be playing good. He's the one who hypes up the team. He's the one who their team's attitude runs through Jose Altuve.
Yeah,
So
I mean he's an Astro for lifer, borderline Hall of Famer. He needs to pick up the scraps here and build something that will get this team fired up because this World Series has so much star potential between Bryce Harper finally making it to a World Series after signing with the Phillies, who everyone thought was just a stupid move, after the Astros beating the cheating scandal and proving that they're still a good team by going to the World Series multiple times, signing Yordan Alvarez. There's so many pieces moving within both of these organizations, and whoever comes out on top is going to be looked at as like an all-time type of team for this playoffs.
I agree, and I think another thing that we didn't talk about for tonight's game. I'm just looking through some things, and it seems like McCullers like definitely was tipping his pitches because his leg. I'm looking at a picture back to back. This is from Playoff Tanaka, so shout out him. His leg throwing a fastball. His leg throwing a fastball. His left leg does not come up very high, and then on a breaking ball, his leg comes up extremely high. So that is a big tip. That is a big tip.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a blatantly obvious one.
Here. If I'm trusting Gabe here, it makes sense why they were killing him all night if they know if a fastball or breaking ball is coming. Not only that, but Mattress Mac is well, a couple steps away from losing. He's in shambles, yeah. So Harper definitely saw something.
Yeah, the tip and pitches thing. What's so funny is that it makes so much like that is one of the stupidest things that everybody on the field, both sides, should notice because like it was clear that he was tipping pitches, and in the moment, I'm more focused on watching the at bat more than the pitcher's delivery and stuff. But like you throw the breaking ball, you're bringing your leg higher because you want more break. Like you want to be down forcing the ball more. Whereas with the fastball, you want to step further and harder and like more straight and direct to the plate. So it makes sense what McCullers was doing, but at the same time, you can't tip pitches that like that. It's too blatantly obvious.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That is all I have.
I'm excited for the rest of this game, the rest of this series. This has been yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. The World Series is finally here. The season is ending. We thank you for spending your time with us and get ready for the off season. We are not going anywhere in the off season, and we will be back either when this series is over or after Game 5. We'll be back after Game 5. Whatever happens, we'll be back after Game 5 at some point.
We'll be here after Game 5. You heard it here first.
And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Peace.